Hey everybody, how are you? I hope everybody's doing great. Welcome back to my back porch where all my video ideas pop in my head while I'm out here drinking my coffee, enjoying the coolness before it gets hot, and listening to the birds sing and the bugs sing out there. Can you hear them? Pretty loud this morning. Anyway, I was thinking of all these video ideas I could do, and a lot of them kind of piggybacked off videos I've done recently, and I want to keep the variety going. So I was thinking, Red December 02, and I'll put her banner up, and I will put her link in the description below, asked me to do a video on tattoos and piercing. Here we go. We're gonna go through my piercings and tattoos. They're not overly crazy, but I do have some. So I hope you enjoy, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, please. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so I will start with my piercings first, and I'm in my janky bathroom that next month will be gutted. I'm so excited. But I'm in here so I can look in the mirror. I have had 13 piercings. Nothing crazy. They're all in my ear. And so I will start with my right side, which I have the 4 regular in the lobe, and then I have a helix up here. My first ones were done by my aunt when I was 9, I think. I wanted my ears pierced, and my mom and dad would not let me get them pierced, so she went and got them pierced for me, so I would have them pierced for her son's wedding. A couple years later, I was with my mom, and we were at the mall, and I begged her to get my second ones done. So I got them done at Claire's. And then these two I got done in my mid-30s, and I will explain that because there's a little backstory to that. I also had another helix up here, right there. Probably can't even hardly see the scar. A friend of mine in high school pierced it with a needle, and it stayed for a long time, but I took the earring out and forgot to put it back in, and it closed up. So probably about a year or two before I did these, that I went and got this done. I had both sets done. So there's 4 or 5, and the one that I don't have anymore. And I have kind of the similar. I have the 4 in the lobe. Now these two still, my aunt did this one and my mom, and then these two right here I actually did before I went to school a couple times in high school with a piercing needle. I pierced them, or with a ear piercing earring. I just shoved it through both of these because I wanted them pierced, and my mom and dad wouldn't let me, so I did it myself. And I actually hid it from them until they got my senior pictures back, and was looking at them one day and noticed that they were there. I only had 4 on one side and 2 on the other until I was 35-ish years old when I matched them up. That's a backstory from earlier. I forgot to add that. Then actually my latest one is my industrial up here. I got it done in 2016. It's actually 2 piercings, as you can see. There's a piercing down here and a piercing up here, in case you don't know how an industrial works. An industrial is a bar that goes from one piercing to another. So this little pretty is actually on a bar, and these balls hold the bar on. You can also wear them just separately, like as helix earrings as well, but I like the industrial look. Behind this little pretty thing, I have another place where I had the matching helix that's on my right side. I had them both done at the same time, but for some reason this one gave me so much trouble that within I almost say 24 hours, I ended up taking it out. So that's the second piercing that I had and don't have anymore, which is a good thing because I ended up getting my industrial done. But so the only other piercings I have planned is I will have to insert it after this clip because I can't think of what they're called. But there is one for headaches and one for chronic pain, and they're both done around in this area. As for my tattoos, I have 11, but I've actually been tattooed 12 times because one is a cover-up, and here we go with those. Sorry for the extreme close-up of my leg, but kind of needs to be for this teeny tiny little thing that was the first time needle and ink ever touched my skin, which I was probably 15 years old. The same girl who pierced my helix, her stepdad was Native American and was giving us all Native American tattoos that night. I didn't chicken out because of pain. I chickened out because of what my mom and dad would have probably done to me had they found out I got a tattoo. My second and third tattoo. This one was done originally by a friend who said, I have a friend that does really good tattoos. Come get a tattoo by him. And so I did, and it was a hideous, horrific tattoo. So a year later, a friend of mine at work, her son had just moved here from California, who was a licensed tattooist in California, but not here. And he offered to fix it for me. And no, it's nowhere near the way I would want it to be. But considering what it looked like before, it's not too bad. So the story behind this one, the original one was the moon with a shooting star with only one. For my dad, who died April 1st, 2007. It was a full moon with a meteor shower. So that's why the moon and the stars, and the moon and stars mean a lot to me anyway. And then when I went and had it covered up, 11 months after my dad died, my grandma died. And so I added the second star in memory of her. The next tattoo I got was this one right here, which is for my girls. The A for Ariel, the M for Michaela. The 4 stars in the middle represent each one of us. The yellow one is me, the pink one is Ariel, the blue one is Daniel, and the green one is Kayla. And then I have my little dachshund down there on my ankle, underneath my ankle, almost at the bottom of my foot. There's my foot. I'm a little swollen today, so kind of a fat dachshund today. But anyway, I had to get my dachshunds because I love my dachshunds, and we ended up losing our old man, our oldest dog that we had, Baby Boys. He was a standard dachshund. The two we have now are minis. So this kind of become a memorial. Then I got the Live tattoo. That is just a daily reminder to keep on living. After I got sick and was given all these chronic illness diagnoses, it was really hard to try to imagine how life was going to be. The semicolon, which is kind of blurry for some reason, I can't get it quite right. Hold my arm quite right just so you can see it. Anyway, the semicolon means your story isn't over. Suicide awareness type symbol. If you want to know more about it, just Google the Semicolon Project. Mental illness I've suffered with all my life, and I definitely started suffering with it after they took my job away and a lot of the things that I enjoyed due to these chronic illnesses. And the arrow is to remind me to always keep moving forward. No matter what's going on in life, just keep moving forward. Then I got the flower on my arm. This is for my mother-in-law. Her and I were really close, and she died really unexpectedly from a blood disorder that she had when she was younger, right after Daniel was born, and thought that she would never have any more effects from it. But then all of a sudden it came back and reared its ugly head, and it unfortunately took her from us. We would go to certified medication aid updates, recertifications, and they were boring, and she would doodle flowers. And then she retired and she kept on doodling, and this is one of the flowers that I like the best. So I had it tattooed, and right there, I don't know if you can tell, towards the left you can see where I had a misplacement of it, and we tattooed right over a spider bite scar, but oh well, imperfections are my life. Then the Forever in My Heart was just to, Forever in My Heart, exactly what it means. It was for her, but as time would go on, in the preceding 2 years after her death, the Forever in My Heart actually goes out to a lot of people, because I've lost a lot of people near and dear to me, and so Forever in My Heart is all of those people. A future tattoo, like in the near future, will have the lyrics from a Tom Petty song, They Walk Among the Wildflowers, and that will go up over the top like the forever in my heart at the bottom. Up next is my sun tattoo, which is very meaningful because it's a matching tattoo with my daughter. Her and I went senior prom dress shopping and decided to get matching tattoos. I have the sun and she has the moon, and I will insert a picture of that right here. Then a month later, my mom had passed away, and I got this tattoo for her. It's an infinity heart with her signature when she wrote Mom in the middle of it. It has the heartbeat that ends with her death date of 5/11/17. 2 days after I got this tattoo, mind you, not healed at all, I had to go to the hospital because I was septic, and I had to get an IV, and my veins were really bad, and right at the bottom loop of the infinity symbol was the only place they could put an IV. So for a week I had an IV right there. It was all taped up over this brand new tattoo. And then after they took the IV out and took all the tape off, I was scared to death that the tattoo was ruined. But as you can tell, it barely did any damage to it at all. I think my mom liked it and was watching out for me. And then I had that tattoo, this one, and the sun, and I'm sorry it's upside down, but I can't film it the right way. I'm not a contortionist. But it looked really weird, so I got this galaxy filler in because most of my tattoos are galaxy related. I forgot to mention while filming that along with the Tom Petty lyrics that I'm getting on the other arm, I'm also getting Alice in Chains, one of my favorite bands of all time, lyrics from their song Down in a Hole. I'm going to have I'd like to fly, but my wings have been so denied, with some little simple birds, and it will go right here. And there's a meaning behind that, but that's a personal editing. For my 20th wedding anniversary, I got the sun and moon couple, representing me and my husband. After 20 years of marriage, I think we're kind of stuck together. And while I was getting that one, I also had my wedding ring tattooed on. I've gained so much weight that I cannot fit my wedding set anymore, so I just tattooed it on. So we're stuck together forever, which I hope is the case anyway. Everybody wants to talk about pain scale, and I'm not going to be very helpful because I have a really high pain tolerance. None of my piercings hurt except for this industrial one right here. I would say it was a 10 as it was being done, and it dropped down to maybe a 4 after that, and it was kind of tender for about a week. My tattoos, none of them hurt. The only one that maybe twinged a little bit on was the one on my finger. That one kind of hurt a bit, but the rest of them, maybe it's a placement, maybe it's my pain tolerance, but really, none of them hurt. None of my piercings but that industrial, and I think it was because the first one didn't hurt, but when they did the second hole, it hurt 100 times worse. So my pain scale is, for my tattoos, maybe a 2. Except for my finger, I'd say 3. Piercings, yeah. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Toodles.